I was at a coffee shop in West Hollywood one morning, and a producer that had been doing some kids commercials that I'd been working on as the session runner for a friend who's the casting director asked me if I was still casting. So I said, yeah. He said he had a Barbie commercial coming up and he wanted me to cast it. I called the woman I had worked for, hadn't heard from him in well over a year, and I said, do you mind if I do it? And she said, no, take it. So, and that one little over a muffin introduction there led to my being the only casting director that Ogilvy and Mather used for their kids commercials. And I was just working, over and over and over, casting all of these Barbie and Mattel commercials, whatever they were. And kids like Brenda Song, who's now a big star. I cast Brenda in a million commercials. And Mila Kunis, who would beg to come in on a Barbie commercial when she was a little girl. So at that time, I was still using my acting name, which was John Mulkeen. So, it's funny that everybody wanted to get a Barbie commercial back then. And I worked on that, and then it just started growing out. I got an America's Most Wanted, sort of through a weird dance. And I have to say, my career, I never took anybody's clients, and they just sort of kept going. And then I loved working with actors, and I got to actually audition them. And I like working with kids. I've always been around kids, so it was great to just have these little kids come in all the time, and it was a blast, and I enjoyed it. And the days went by quickly, and the work kept coming. And then now it's I guess it's 30 years later.
Wow.
I'm still at it. So
Right.
It's been a long time.
I have a few other questions for you, but I think it's very exciting. So when you, because I think a lot of people don't realize that there are casting directors that start off with a production or a client or a film, and they do they do basically the casting up to a certain point, and then the client comes in. So I wanted to ask for you, like a commercial, it's kind of a short thing. If it's a film or it's a TV show, how involved do you get with knowing the essence of what the piece is about and what they're looking for? And my other question is, do you sometimes far surpass their vision of the characters they thought based on what you read, and then bring them to them and they go like, wow, I never thought we'd get somebody like that? Does that kind of thing happen? Does that make sense?
I haven't done any TV shows in a while now, but I did do a lot, 10 years ago, 10 to 20 years ago. And the story that comes to mind is The Journey of Alan Strange, which Tommy Lynch wrote. He was the producer and creator, and I did a ton of work for Tommy. And this little thing was a boy who was an alien who's brought into a family. And diversity really was not something that really existed at that time. And I brought in a black kid to read for the boy, for Alan Strange. His name is R.J. Smith. Commercials. I knew he was a talented kid, and he came in, and they had never in a million years thought that they could bring in a black child to play that role. And it was great. It changed the whole perspective on the show. And Tommy to this day credits me that no one on the creative side in the development side had thought of that. So I was trying to bring in the best actors. I've always do that, and now it's far more easy because you're able. Families look much different than they used to, and people accept blended families far more readily than they used to. So it was sort of nice that I kind of went for the best actor, and it sort of changed the whole perspective of everybody. So
Right.
I was very glad about that one.
That was